Wanda Obermeier is a teacher with more than 25 years of experience. She's also an award-winning author with a series of books for children called Mama Bird, Papa Bird. We'll talk with Wanda Obermeier today here on Babbie's House. Don't go anywhere. Babbie's House is coming to you right now.
Every day is filled with possibility. At Babbie's house, Babbie's house, everybody is family. Welcome to Babbie's house.
Hello, dear friends, and thanks for watching Babbie's House. I am your host, Babbie Mason, and thanks for joining me today. I am so blessed to introduce you to a very dear friend and an award-winning author, Wanda Obermeier, and she writes beautiful children's books with wonderful life lessons that we all can learn in the pages of these beautifully illustrated books. So we're going to talk today with Wanda Obermeier and her process of writing this beautiful series called Mama Bird, Papa Bird, and we'll talk with her in just a little bit. But I want to kick today's show off with an encouraging song that I believe will encourage you to shine your light and share your faith and use some ordinary ways that you can shine God's light in the world. What would it mean to that single mom to get some money in the mail? Or pay a visit to Mr. Jones, whose health has begun to fail, just to shine a little light. Tell him it will be all right. And what about that lonely child who's never had enough? Got a kind and encouraging word for that girl who's given up. Oh, what a difference it would make just to bless somebody's day. Teach me to love like that. Tell me what to say to help my neighbor. Teach me to love like that. Show me what to do to make things better. Maybe it's to feel a need or plant a seed or give where there is lack. I want to be like you, Lord. Teach me to love like that. Maybe it's delivering a pretty bouquet to that lonely little lady, or paying a bill for an out-of-work dad who wonders if he'll make it, just to hear somebody out. Relieve them of some fear and doubt. Surprise that man on a fixed income by taking him to lunch. Or maybe it's to babysit for that mom under a time crunch. Oh, you just never know how you can touch some weary soul. Teach me to love like that. Tell me what to say to help my neighbor. Teach me to love like that. Show me what to do to make things better. Maybe it's to feel a need or plant a seed or give where there is lack. I want to be like you, Lord. Teach me to love like that. I don't just want to see the need, but I want to be there. Let me be the answer to someone's prayer, to someone's prayer. Teach me to love like that. Teach me to love. I want to love like that. Maybe I could feel a need if I could just plant a seed or give where there is lack. I want to be like you, Lord.
Here where there is love, Jesus, I wanna love like that. Don't you wanna love like that? If I could just help my neighbor, oh, maybe we can make things. I wanna make things better. If I could just shine like a light, oh, tell them everything will be alright. I wanna stand in the gap, Lord, teach me to love like that.
Welcome back to Babbie's House. Allow me to introduce the award-winning author of the Mama Bird, Papa Bird series, and her name is Wanda Obermeier. Thank you for being here, and so happy to see you again up close and personal. You and I have a long history. We go back a lot of years.
21 years.
21 years.
Yeah.
Amen. And so happy to see you. And congratulations on all the work that you've been doing, writing these beautiful books in your Mama Bird, Papa Bird series.
Thank you. Well, I have to say thank you for allowing me to be here, and you have been an inspiration to my writing.
Wow. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Wanda. Well, thanks again for coming today and sharing your beautiful books. These books are absolutely wonderful. I love the stories, and the illustrations are just pieces of artwork. I mean, they're really beautiful.
Technically, they are artwork pieces. The illustrator has them in her home.
Yeah, you can frame these.
Yeah, they are watercolors that she actually did. So there's nothing computer generated about these.
These
first two
they're
books.
beautiful. Well, I want to know, first of all, how you got inspired to start writing children's books.
Well, it kind of happens when you have a child of your own and you have to read to that child. And then you have a grandchild. And I had a crisis one day. What was I going to read to this baby girl? And I went to Barnes & Noble and looked and looked and looked and came home with literally nothing. And I thought, wait a minute. I was writing children's stories years ago about my son, basically, and I thought, let me revisit that. So I started writing because of my granddaughter being born. I thought, I want to leave a legacy for her. The first book is dedicated to her. And, you know, after I pass, she'll have these for her and her children. So that was my inspiration.
That is beautiful. Now, what is it about the Mama Bird, Papa Bird illustration that's kind of the, you know, the beautiful characters that every book displays?
Right.
Why a bird? Why a mama bird? Why a papa bird? Tell me about that story.
I'm glad you asked that question because I was going to make this about people at first, just a mom and a dad. And then I thought, wait a minute. I thought, when I looked around the world and I thought every culture has a bird.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Or you know, all the states have a state bird. Here in Georgia, it's the brown thrasher. And these books kind of look like a cross between a brown thrasher and a robin, which is the state bird of Wisconsin, where I'm from. So I thought, in thinking about birds, every state has its own bird, every culture has its own bird, and they all give birth the same way. So I wanted to make it about mama, papa, having a baby, showing how we, in life, nurture our offspring.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Now, every book has a life lesson that you want us to learn.
Yes.
So talk to me about the beautiful process of teaching life lessons to kids, to adults. I love the fact that a mama can read a children's book to her baby, but also get a lesson out of it herself.
Right.
So where do these life lessons come from, and how do you find them, the right one for every story?
Well, the first life lesson is about birth itself. And, you know, when you're a new mom or a new grandma, you come to that point where you think, how do I teach my kids about life? When they ask you that question, hey, where did I come from? When you go to this book, Mama Bird, Papa Bird, it's just a natural way of showing that the female gets pregnant, there's a father involved. And so there's that sense of family, and then all of a sudden there's an egg. And like humans, you know, we females have eggs that we do not see. And then in this book, you're shown that there's an egg, but you don't really know what's in it yet, and until that birth or that hatching occurs. So it's a really easy way to explain life without being explicit, you know, like television would give us. So, yeah, that's my first lesson.
Well, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Talk to me about how you've found your illustrator.
I found my illustrator through going through an agency in Wisconsin, and she said, I know the perfect person for you. And she actually lived not too far from where I lived. And we were sitting and having coffee one day, and I said, okay, I handed her a blank piece of paper with just the words written on it, and I told her what I visualized, because I can't draw a stick figure, okay? So as I was explaining the story to her, she was in black and white sketching. And then she turned it over and said, like this? And I
Wow.
went, yeah. I went, that's it. And then we got to page 2 and 3. And she did this page by page. And then she said, oh, wait till you see him in color. And I thought, oh, I can hardly wait. So that's how I found her. And she was a young mom of, had a couple of kids. She was a stay-at-home mom. And she had always dreamt of being an illustrator someday, so.
And so her dream came true, and so did yours.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
And now we can say she is an award-winning children's book illustrator.
Yeah, because you're an award-winning children's book author.
Right, right.
You've won the Ben Franklin Award.
That's right.
You've won the Mom's Choice Award,
Yes.
honoring excellence in writing. Talk to me about these awards. You know, it's one thing for your mom or your family to say, Mom, you did a good job.
Right.
But for somebody to acknowledge, you know, like
Right.
in your sphere of influence
Right.
or in your among your peers,
Right.
when they say you did a good job, I mean, that's really a nice pat on the back.
That was validation. The book still had the ink wet on it when I got the Ben Franklin Award, and I got the email saying, congratulations, come to Austin, Texas on this day and receive your award. And I thought, what? I mean, I don't even think I had even sold very many books by that time. And then while I was at the Ben Franklin Award ceremony, there were some Mom's Choice people there as vendors, and they came up to me and they said, we've seen your book and we think you're a winner, and you need to send it to this address, and we're going to adjudicate it, and we have pediatricians and educators, and I thought, okay. So I sent it to where they told me to send it, and it won the gold. And they're represented in about 40, 50, maybe even up to 60 countries now. So that got me to thinking about writing in other languages. So I took the first book, Mama Bird, Papa Bird, and had it translated into 2 different languages.
Beautiful. In
Spanish and in the Hmong language. And it's actually a bilingual version of Mama Bird, Papa Bird.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you, thank you.
So, you know, the internet has introduced us to a lot of self-published authors, independent songwriters, and things like that. So there are a lot of people that are writing children's books. What would be your suggestion to that person who wants to write their first children's book? Because writing a children's book is a lot different than writing a regular book.
It is a lot
There's a style and a craft to it.
I would say, first of all, make sure, if you want to be successful, make sure that the theme is universal. Don't necessarily write to specific genres, but make it a universal, have universal appeal. That was actually some inspiration that I took from songwriters coming to your music seminars years ago. Make it a universal theme so that everybody can relate to the book. And also get an editor. That would probably be my first. I mean, you think with a children's book, you don't need an editor. You do. You need an editor for even a children's book.
What does an editor do?
An editor makes sure that everything is spelled correctly, that there's noun, subject, verb agreement, and that there's a particular flow. You've used your punctuation correctly. So that's really important.
So the editor looks over your shoulder, basically,
Yes,
to make
yes.
sure that all T's are crossed, all I's are dotted, everything is spelled correctly.
Right.
It looks beautiful, it reads well.
Right. And specifically, if you're writing to a certain age group, you're going to want to make sure that you have words that are compatible and commensurate with what they're teaching in schools at the kindergarten level, sixth grade level. It all changes. So
That's really good.
Yeah.
So as we read this Mama Bird, Bird series, Obey Right Away, which I've read, it's a wonderful lesson. Mama Bird, Papa Bird, Tell the Truth, all these wonderful life lessons that we can take away, and we are taking away. What do you hope to deposit into the lives of little ones, and what do you hope to deposit into the lives of the parents and the grandparents that read them?
I want them to come away with a sense of virtue. That first of all, that they are created in God's image, and God said it is good. So to come away with that, and then as children, the second book is called Obey Right Away. This is an important lesson for all children, because we know how children, they explore, they want to touch something hot, they want to run this way. And to obey right away, to teach them how to obey right away is important, because that's the promise that God gave children. Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right, and you will live long on
Right.
earth. And then the third lesson is tell the truth. Now, as young moms or first-time grandmas, do we teach Christmas? Do we teach Easter Bunny? Do we do the Tooth Fairy and all these fanciful things? Those are all fine and good. But eventually we've got to tell the kids the truth. And only Jesus said, I am the truth, the life, and the way. And so in telling the truth, ultimately we're going to get to the truth of Jesus Christ, which is why I've written all these books, because he's enabled me to preach the gospel from little on. And by teaching children the precepts of God, that first of all, he is our creator. That's where I'm starting.
Exactly. You're starting at the right place.
Right.
So how do we get more information about the Mama Bird, Papa Bird series and about your writing, how we can reach out to you? Maybe you can come and do a reading session where, I always have this vision of being in the first grade where the little ones are sitting in Indian style around the chair.
Oh, I've done that.
I know you have.
And I tell you, it's cute when you get these little kids around. At the end of my book, I ask, if you were Baby Bird, what would you do? One little boy raised his hand. This was up when I lived in Wisconsin. He said, I'd eat worms. And I said, oh, that's so, I said, you're talking about the gummy worms, right? He said, no, ma'am, the real thing.
The real thing. Oh, my goodness.
And the teacher looked at me and she was going,
Listen, we're going to talk more about that after this break. We're going to take a quick break and talk about gummy worms. Gummy worms are real worms, okay? We'll discuss that during the break. But after this break, we'll come back with more conversation with Wanda Obermeier here on Babbie's House. Stick around. We'll be right back. Thanks for coming back to Babbie's House. I've been talking today with Wanda Obermeier, the author of these award-winning, beautiful children's books in the Mama Bird, Papa Bird series. And she is an amazing author, an award-winning author. Congratulations on all of your work. I want you to tell us where we can get more information at your website.
Adnaw, that's Wanda spelled backwards, ADNAW, publishing.com. And the third book you can also get on trilogy.tv, because Trilogy published my third book. I independently published the first two, and then I handed off my third book to Trilogy, which they turned into a storybook for their network. So that can be viewed as well, and you can hear them animated. So.
Well, you are a teacher with 25 years of teaching experience. How has your teaching experience influenced your writing and developing these stories?
I would say I'm always in a learning mode from kids anyway, and I enjoy the fact that kids want to learn, and so I'm there to help them learn, and the younger the better. Especially, I love 3- and 4-year-olds. I love it when you can put a book in front of them and they can't read it, but then after a while they start recognizing words and something unlocks. There's just something about the magic of reading, and ultimately to learn to read and love the scriptures.
And there's something beautiful about a child's imagination.
Yes.
You can just see the wonder in their eyes.
Yes.
Listen, I am all about digital, life online, but there's something beautiful about holding a book, looking at beautiful illustrations, turning the page, you know, seeing a child's eyes light up when they look at the beautiful pictures, or a bedtime, holding a beautiful book at bedtime, and hearing a wonderful story about life. Well, I'm so glad that you came to talk to us today about these beautiful books. Can we look forward to some more books in the series?
Absolutely. Book 4 is still up here, but we're going to take a look around the world and talk about how cultures worship the Creator around the world. That's what Book 4 is going to be about.
That is wonderful. Where do you get your ideas from?
I'm not really sure, other than the Holy Spirit.
Exactly.
This inspires me to write things, but I certainly wait until the time is right to even begin writing. I think about it for a long time. In fact, sometimes even for years before it actually flows on paper.
Do any of your children or your grandchildren show promise as writers, possibly?
Definitely, my son and granddaughter both as songwriters and writers. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, you and I met at one of my conferences, or was it maybe a writer's conference?
It was at GMA in the Rockies, I
Okay.
think it was.
Oh, wow,
it was
that
the
was a
month,
long time
It was
ago.
the month before 9/11, and I'll never forget it because I could take a big bottle of shampoo because we were there for a week, and we met that week. And
That was a life-changing
hung out-
event.
We hung out together a lot that
That
week.
is beautiful. Well, we've lived
Yeah.
a lot of life since that time.
Yes, we have.
And your books are amazing. Congratulations on a great work, Wanda.
Thank you.
Wanda Obermeier has been my guest, and congratulations and thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you
Absolutely.
for having me.
Thank you for being here, too. And I'm so glad that you came to Babbie's house today to meet Wanda Obermeier and to check out her books. Go to adnaw.com.
Adnaw Publishing.
Adnaw Publishing, and get more information about Wanda's beautiful books, and make sure you check that out today. I also want to invite you to go to my website at Babbie.com, first name only, Babbie.com, and there you can check out my books, my music, my soundtracks if you're a singer. I also have soundtracks of all of my songs. I also have Bible studies. My latest, most recent book is called Each One Reach One, Everyday Ways You Can Shine God's Light. It's a wonderful personal Bible study or small group Bible study. You can go right to Babbie.com and get all the information you need for Each One Reach One, Everyday Ways You Can Shine God's Light. And I was also just excited about the fact that I've talked with Wanda before on Babbie Mason Radio. I have a radio version of Babbie's House. It's called Babbie's House on the Radio. And you can access Babbie's House on the radio through my website at Babbie.com. You'll see a button that's twirling around there on the homepage of the website. Click that button, and that launches Babbie Mason Radio. And every day at 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m., I run my own talk show on the radio station. It's the audio version of this show right here, and it's called Babbie's House on the Radio. And I have had the opportunity to talk with Wanda Obermeier, and we've had a wonderful conversation on the radio. So check out Babbie Mason Radio today, and you'll hear beautiful music and encouraging words 24 hours a day. Well, thank you so very much for watching Babbie's House, and we'll see you later. Talk to you then. God bless you until then.